Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button so that you never miss out on our awesome content. Today, we are diving deep into the world of audio editing. I know many of you have been asking, how do I clean up my audio? Or you asked me, how do you clean up your audio? How do you make it sound more professional? How do I make my voice sound smooth, etc., etc.? Well, I'm here to show you my secret weapon. It's actually Adobe Audition. Even though we edit our videos in Adobe Premiere is very limited with their options. We can forget struggling with limited options in Adobe Premiere because Audition is a whole new playground that'll take your audio from meh to wow, did a professional do that? And trust me, it's a lot easier than you think. This is a quick and dirty method. It's going to work like magic 98% of the time. But remember, nothing beats the precision of manual editing for those tricky 2% cases. So don't be disheartened if sometimes you have to get your hands a little dirty.
Okay.
After all, it's part of the journey in becoming a pro video creator. If you're ready to level up your audio game, then let's dive right into Adobe Premiere, which is what we'll use as our gateway to get into Adobe Audition and edit our audio. Learning is a process and we're in this together. So let's roll up our sleeves and get started, shall we? All right, here we are inside Adobe Premiere, and we have our clip loaded onto our timeline. I would suggest doing this before you start cutting up your clip and stuff, before you start cutting it down, because then it's gonna be a bunch of smaller clips. What you wanna do is once you have it on your timeline, we're gonna right click on the audio. Actually, I'm pretty sure you can just right click anywhere, like even on the video, yep. And then what we're going to do is edit clip in Adobe Audition. That's going to go ahead and launch Adobe Audition for us. It's already going to extract the audio from the video so that we just have the audio here inside of Adobe Audition. First and foremost, hit Control A or Command A if you're on a Mac to select the entire audio track. What we're going to do inside Adobe Audition is basically add a couple effects. Some of these effects you could add in Premiere. However, using them inside Adobe Audition, number one, there's more effects you can use. There's also more options for tweaking if you do need to kind of get into the weeds. You know, that's why I like using Adobe Audition. The other reason is up here in your toolbar, you got the favorites. If you click that and go down to start recording favorite and click that, and it's going to give you a little dialogue, just hit OK. Now, every effect you add that shows up in your history here, until you come back here and hit the stop recording favorite, is going to become part of that favorite. Meaning once you are finished, so once you do all your effects, you hit stop recording, you give it a name, and it is now one of these favorites. So then after this first initial setup we're about to do here, the next time you open up a clip in Adobe Audition from Premiere, all you will have to do is click favorites, click whatever you named it, and it'll automatically go through and put all of those on for you. All right, we started our recording. So what we want to add first and foremost is we want to go to our effects tab and we want to select under special, the vocal enhancer. So now when you click it, you have a couple different options. You have default, high tone, low tone music. So low tone is most of the time males. High tone is typically female. Obviously, there can be some overlap there, but typically, you know, if you're a male, you want the low tone. There's also music if you're putting this on music, but this is just dialogue that we're working with. And so we will go ahead and I'll show you what it sounds like. And here it is on. Let's get to the where the vocals are starting. Next to you in New York City. So there it is on. I realized it was you. There's off. All right, so we're going to apply that. So that's our first effect that we're going to do. Next, we're going to go back into our effects again, and we're going to go to Filter and EQ, and we want to go to Parametric Equalizer. Parametric Equalizer has a bunch of different presets, and we're going to want to add a couple different EQ effects to our audio. The first one that we're going to want to do, and the second one actually, is a generic high pass and then a generic low pass. So what a high pass or a low pass does is at a certain frequency, it just drops the volume significantly of everything below that frequency. With the high pass, everything above a certain frequency, it brings the volume of that down. So basically it gets rid of noises that kind of aren't in the range of typical sounds that we would actually want to be hearing inside of our audio. So we're going to add a high pass, hit apply. Then we're going to go back to effects, filter and EQ, parametric filter. Now we want a low pass, hit apply. And then we're going to go up here and go one more time to filter and EQ, parametric equalizer. And we're going to want to choose vocal enhancer. So I know we already put the vocal enhancer on, but with this EQ, I also like how it actually EQs it, and it probably does a little bit with this, but for whatever reason, I just like how it sounds better. So let me play it. I found a love I knew to be true. All right, so here it is off. Here it is off. I told you I wanted a family. There it is. See, I think it sounds a little crisper, a little better. And then last but not least, what we want to do is go to amplitude and compression, and we want to go to normalize right here. You want to normalize to 95 to 98%. I do 97%. I think like 3 off of 100 sounds good in my brain. Probably because a lot of times I also do my audio up to -3 decibels, so it's probably just in my head. We want to make sure normalize all channels equally is checked as well. And all this is going to do is it's going to take your loudest parts of your audio track and it's going to bring them down, and it's going to take the lowest or the quietest parts of your audio track and raise them up so that it makes everything a little more flat. That way you can hear everything a lot easier in the track and nothing's really outshined by the other. Now let's play it one more time here. Here it is off. As we held each other in the dark. Here we go with it on. What's the next? Adventures took us places. So now what we do is we go back up here to our favorites. We hit stop recording favorite and we give it a name. Quick Dirty Audio Fix. We'll hit OK, and boom. Now we're going to hit this, and it says, do you want to save changes? No, I don't, because I want to show you guys. We're going to right click on it again, edit clip in Adobe Audition. Imagine this is your next project. So now when we go in here, we have our audio. We still want to Control A or Command A to select everything. But now we go up here to our favorites tab. We find Quick Dirty Audio Fix that we just made, and we hit it. It's putting on every filter that we just did, and boom, we're with the result. If you have actual issues with your audio, there's even more effects that you don't get in Premiere. However, I don't add these on automatically in a favorite because these are used as a per needed basis. So what I mean is, for example, you have diagnostics, you have a declicker, a declipper. So a declipper is if the mic's clipping, it helps kind of try to fix that a little bit. You have a delete silence, which will delete moments of silence in the clip automatically and bring kind of all your words and everything together. You also have a declicker, which is like when click noises happen because of a mic popping or something like that. And then also under noise reduction and restoration, you have things like noise reduction, sound remover, hiss reduction, click pop eliminator. You get even adaptive, which is all the AI stuff coming out. You got phase correction, de-hummer, de-reverb, just all kinds of stuff that you can fool around with in here in these effects. When you hit X, you do normally want to click yes and save, and you'll see it'll actually update it here in the thing. Boom, and it updates the audio here, and you're good to go. So I hope this video helped you. Quick and dirty method. Again, it works 98% of the time. You know, 2% of the time, you're gonna have to do a little bit of fooling around. Or if the audio has a lot of actual issues like hissing or, you know, noise, stuff like that, you're gonna have to fix that. Click pops, like I said. But other than that, that's it. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up, get subscribed to the channel. See you guys on the next one. Until then, peace out, everybody. Later, nerds.